Hola, bom dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. I do hope you're part of our community there. You can sign up for free, but you'll get a load of extra benefits and discounts if you become a premium member for the paltry sum of €25. Good morning to you, and of course, Feliz Dia de Ação de Graças. Now, I hope that's an appropriate and useful translation for you. That, of course, will be our Palavra do Dia, if it is, of course, correct. I'm hoping it's not just a literal translation and thereby losing something in translation, but those of us in this community who have something, let's say a foot in the Americas and a foot in Portugal, may well know if I've got that right. So I'm going to go with Feliz Dia de Ação de Graças today. And first in, thank you for the turkey emoticons and impressions, Laura, from you, and a happy Thanksgiving. I think so. It's interesting, isn't it? For a Brit, it doesn't really it doesn't have a massive resonance for British people. Happy Thanksgiving. Obviously, you know, we're delighted for our American cousins across the water that they are celebrating essentially the harvest, right? And then that's how it began, as I understand it. And I will take my cues and education from Americans this morning on what the holiday is about. So do tell me what it means for you, and also tell me what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. And it strikes me that a harvest festival is a great idea, isn't it? I mean, after all the hard work of summer, to bless and be grateful for the produce is a very smart human move, I would say. So do let me know what you're thankful for. What have you had a bumper crop of as the nights have become longer, darker and colder, and you've become more reflective? What are you cheerful and happy about in your life? Because goodness only knows, there are quite a few things to be challenged by at the moment. I'll put it that way. How do we balance that with what you're grateful for in your life at the moment, which I believe to be part of, as I understand it anyway, Thanksgiving? Let me know. Educate me about Thanksgiving itself as a concept, because I see those marketing rascals have got hold of it, haven't they? What is it? The Friday, Black Friday, is it? Follows tomorrow. And then Cyber Monday follow. None of these marketers never miss an opportunity, do they, to hijack a good and wholesome holiday with their schemes. So let's try and keep it on point, an original point this morning. Let's give thanks. Please send also messages to your American friends and family via the screen there. I'll put them up, and you can tell them that you wish them a happy Thanksgiving before they were even up. I mean, there are some people who are still up from last night in America. Some people join us and say, yeah, it's midnight over here. And others are saying, I can't sleep, basically. But you can get a greeting up on the screen to your American friends and family, and they'll be able to see it later on today. Bon dia, happy Thanksgiving to the American listeners from Jenny in Belgium. So love and greetings from Portugal and Belgium so far. Bon dia from Joel up there in Porto, a.k.a. Safiro. What an incredible attendance rate from you, Safira. Really appreciate your company. And your Portuguese points of order. Let's call them those, okay? What are they? PPOO, hashtag PPOO. If there's anything that's out of order in terms of our understanding of Portugal, Portuguese culture, etc., Safira is our man to put us back on the straight and narrow. So I do appreciate you doing that. And it's the Expat Man Cave again tomorrow night, Safira. So hopefully you'll be in there again with some man cave style points of order as well from the Portuguese culture. Eloise, good morning to you. Hello, bom dia, Carl, she says. And same to you, e consigo. Eloise Healy, good morning and great to have you here. Paulo Simões, good morning to you as well. How lovely. So nice to see people, drifting away, doing their thing, coming back from time to time. Great to have your company. Hola, bon dia from Paul Williams down in the south. So it's day 2 of our winter. Only 2 to go. Very good, Paul. Yes, I mean, it actually can be like that. That's fantastic. Bon dia from a cloudy Porto de Mos there. All you moshers moshing in Porto de Mos this morning from Wayne B. Good morning, Wayne. How are you doing? I haven't heard from you for a while. I hope you're well. Will Thompson, snap. Just caught Mr. Robin on camera. Sent you via messenger, Carl. Evidence. So how many days has this Robin visited you? To me, that is a very autumnal scene, isn't it? I mean, the robin is the bird of many a Christmas card. He is a seasonal bird, getting closer to human beings. These are seen on the one hand as aggressive birds, aren't they, towards other birds and their own species, I think, but very close to the human being. The whole idea of whilst you're tilling the garden or digging it up, the robin will come and land on the handle of your fork or spade. Very friendly birds. I'm glad you've managed to capture that. How many days in a row is that, though, Will, your friend there? What are you going to call him? Robin, I suppose. You can be Batman. He can be Robin. Neil Perkins in the Alentejo, Mr. Alentejo, if you will. Good morning, Portugal, says Neil. Imagine him. He's probably still tucked up in bed. Remnants of a good night previously around him, sipping on some British tea there, biting on some British toast. Is he a Marmite man? I don't know. But there, I imagine him shouting through an open window across the Alentejo Plains. Good morning, Portugal. Druba, good morning. And happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans in the expat group here. Thank you so much, Druba. Now, where did you send? It was to WhatsApp, wasn't it? Well, actually, I'll come back to that because Druba sent me a fabulous message yesterday, a very kind message, which may be of interest to people who are coming to Portugal, maybe on a tighter sort of budget. Nomadic types who are coming to Portugal to seek fame and fortune, and he has a lovely offer for you, which I'll come back to you. Remind me, Druba, if that slips off the radar as we talk about Thanksgiving, cheese, take a look at the news and the weather, which is coming up in just a moment. But I love it. I love how friendly and open and communicative everybody is. So I think it's right that we go through the comments each morning like this. Sure, glad to be part of it. The Expat Man Cave from Safara, great. Bon dia from Louise. Hello, Louise. How are you this morning? How's your Portuguese adventure shaping up? Every day in the first half of your show for about 2 weeks, maybe every day, Will's Robin is turning up, and we'll put that picture up. Maybe we'll put it as the starter screen tomorrow, Will. That's fantastic. Cold and wet, but the dogs will be waiting. Are your dogs that like to go out in the rain? I thought Jimmy Choo had disappeared yesterday, but he was curled up in his little kennel on his blanket. He was just fast asleep. He was having a dog duvet day yesterday when I went out to take him for his stroll around the estate. But some people's dogs just do not like the rain, do they? And they will just curl up until it's passed with their bladder expanding. How dogs hold on to it, I do not know, but they're remarkable with that, aren't they? And morning, Mr. Perkins. Morning, Neil Perkins from Eloise there. Ty, are your dogs dogs that are happy to go out in the rain, or will they wait till it's all blown over? Robins are very territorial, says Neil. So stay in an area for a period and defend it quite aggressively, as I thought. And Grassa, this is the day, the dia, as you can see, our palavra, our phrase of the day, really today. Feliz dia de Ação de Graças, the day of Thanksgiving, and from a Grassa herself. Bon dia, and may the sun shine on your life. Isn't that a beautiful blessing and message to the community this morning from Donna Grassa? Good morning to you, Grassa. Great to have your company with us as well. So let's take a look at the weather. I think we know the answer kind of there, don't we, with how it's looking for the next few days weather-wise. But it's always worth checking, isn't it? As Frank Sinatra said about British weather, if you don't like it, just wait 5 minutes. And that, that's true of the weather. Well, I suppose there are places where weather is very predictable. Yeah, around the where would that be? Places that aren't too affected by a coastal effect, as in near the sea, and on the equator probably. Maybe at the other ends of it's very predictable. Or am I talking through my hat again? Let me know, you meteorologist. But in Lisbon, anyway, at the moment, yes. That doom and gloom weather forecast of rain for 5 days has suddenly disappeared. Oh no, it hasn't. Well, it's been modified. Let me put it that way. Possible drizzle today in the capital. I think the folks from, I don't know if you know anything about the bread and water movement. Those heroic folks who travelled from all over the country to go to the capital yesterday to lobby for help because their industries have been basically destroyed by the pandemic response. I don't know how they got on, but it looks like the sun may have shone on the righteous yesterday in Lisbon. And I saw a picture from one friend who was there, and I don't know if they managed to get their way, if there was anyone there from the political world to hear them, to come to their aid. But yes, the Pau e Agua movement, caravans convoys from all over the country, I understand, converging on the capital yesterday, and it didn't rain on them, I hope. But it is raining today in Lisbon, 11 degrees, possible drizzle, and rising to 15. So the prospect is of rain, but not tomorrow. That's the change. I can bring you some sun tomorrow, 16 degrees tomorrow, and then back to rain for a few days and a rainy weekend. Okay, and I imagine those who put the measures in place are quite grateful for a cold and rainy weekend. So you don't have that effect that we had at the beginning, where we were going into lockdown, weren't we, in measures, and it was beautiful sunny weather, and everyone was piling onto the beach for the last time, causing quite a problem. So I'm sure they're pretty glad the weather is looking the way it's looking for the weekend. Similarly in Porto, Saturday and Sunday, rainy days forecast. Similarly today, 12 degrees and overcast in Porto, but a sunny day tomorrow, a blessed sunny day tomorrow of 17 degrees as well. Coimbra raining, actually raining in Coimbra, it says. 14 degrees the high today. Thursday, quinta-feira, dia 26 de novembro. And yeah, as people are saying, we're truly into the winter season, or is it the autumn season? I'm having mixed reports from the community. Actual Portuguese person saying it's great that it's autumn, and then newcomer Paul saying it's winter. But I think he's just referring to those 5 days of rain, perhaps. Clarification needed from people who know about those things, please. So yeah, Coimbra, high of 14 today, and a cloudy day tomorrow, but some possibility of sunshine tomorrow in Coimbra. But just like in Porto and Lisbon, a rainy weekend, but a sunny Monday to look forward to, with a high of 19 degrees, which is pretty cool for pretty good for a November. I think you would agree, as approaching December, basically, when actually officially Christmas decorations should be going up on the 1st of December, if not the 24th. But it seems a lot of you are already putting them up, as it were, not putting them up, but putting your decorations up. Pictures very welcome. I'd be delighted to have your pictures of your Christmas trees and decorations. If you've done your house up on the outside, if you've got into the Portuguese habit, as some do here, of lighting the entire neighborhood with your house and to celebrate Christmas, love a picture, and we'll stick it on the starter screen. Faro, 14 degrees, possible light rain today down there in the south, but it's not looking good. Paul, rain still forecast for 7 straight days still in Faro, but you guys need it down there in your reservoirs, it has to be said, so maybe not such a bad thing after all. Go out in your shorts and your socks and sandals, but remember to wear a pack-a-mac as well. That's quite a picture of an expat, isn't it? Socks, sandals and pack-a-mac. What could possibly go wrong? Back to a few of your lovely comments. Speaking of birds, I used to have a cockatiel, which is a great joke, isn't it? There's a great cockatoo joke, which I can't possibly tell you right now. More of a man cave thing. Speaking of birds, I used to have a cockatiel that was expert in opening her own birdcage just to stretch stretch the wings when she felt like it. Isn't that wonderful? Fantastic. What was she called? Elsa Riley is here. Hello, how are you? Is it raining in North Wales? Actually, no, it's not. Weather lovely here on the North Wales coast there. I knew what you meant. Our dogs don't like to go out in the garden on their own, but they will go out for a walk in any weather. Yep, thank you, Ty. Philomena, you should know, everybody, that it's a Feel Good Friday tomorrow, where we'll be having a lot of fun with Holly Healthy's Jennifer will be joining us tomorrow morning. Sort of thing we like to do on a Friday, just lighten things up, ready for our Bon Fin de Semana. And next Friday, we have booked in a Filomena Friday. And here she is with her greeting. Bom dia, Carl, e todos os amigos americanos en especial. So, yeah, good morning to us all. And our American friends, especially on this Thanksgiving morning. Nobody from America yet here with us. Nobody explaining their particular angle on Thanksgiving. Interesting. I would like to find out more and know if it means much more than basically a celebration of the harvest and giving thanks for friends and family. That's quite enough, of course. Robin is otordo. I've got to be careful saying that. Otordo. From Jani. So thank you. Lots of vocabulary. It was Ree who suggested we reinstate the Palavra do Dia. So it's great to see so much more vocabulary on the screen and phrases and so on. And, I've been thinking we should have a Portuguese study group, shouldn't we, as part of what we do? I think not on screen like this necessarily, but maybe it's time for a Good Morning Portugal Portuguese Zoom call, conference call, where we have a class and we really dig into it. We don't just sort of mess about learning the odd word, but we really get stuck into it in a more intensive way. Let me know if you're up for that. And there is a link from Safiro in there about escapist cockatiels. I think it might be a YouTube of his own. How lovely, a YouTube of his own cockatiel there. That he's sharing with us. Thank you, Joel. It's a lovely community, this. We're getting very familiar with each other, showing each other our cockatiels. You're right, in bed, big mug of tea, toast and marmalade, not Marmite, watching my favourite presenter. What a way to start the day. Yes, that sounds like a great start. I might, in fact, maybe I should recreate that as my stage set of a morning. Just like stay in bed, switch the camera on, make sure I've got a big mug of tea, toast and marmalade. It might help everyone to feel very comfortable of a morning. Not a bad idea, that, Neil. But it's interesting how close I was to your expat idyll there. Tuesday here, it was 16 degrees, lovely, sunny and warm in North Wales. There, went out shopping all day without a jacket or coat. Fantastic. Louise saying, I really needed to buy an umbrella yesterday, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'm in Portugal, damn it. They do. You see, this is what we don't see necessarily is as we're going into this. Yes, they have rain in Portugal and they have umbrellas. I get it. You just don't want to commit to that aspect of Portuguese life. That's funny, Louise. Thank you. And that's part of the problem, of course, of moving to Portugal in November. I think the ideal time. Actually, this is a good question for all of you. What's the ideal month to move to Portugal? I think it's September, because you've got the beautiful tail end of a balmy summer, quite possibly, and still capacity to enjoy an amazing summer in the following year. You don't peak necessarily, but you enjoy September's in Portugal can be wonderful in my limited experience of 3 of them, but maybe before on visiting briefly, but. What's the best month to arrive in Portugal so that you get a good balance? You're not too spoiled and you're not too disappointed. I'm going to go with September. Rosa was the name of the cockatiel. Thanks for that, Joel. Another cold and damp start to the day here in Castanheira de Pera. Little pen portrait of the pen portrait of Pera today is telling us that today the wood stove is cooking 2 pork shanks to make a giant pork pie to take out for a picnic if the weather improves. I imagine you might be eating that next to the stove. I don't want to pee on your chips, as it were, there in an attempt at a meteorological reference. But I don't know. I mean, either way, you're going to win, aren't you? You're going to be cozied up by the wood stove, or you're going to be out on a picnic, which sounds great. Picnic in Pera with Peter. Good morning, Pete. Thank you for that. Bon dia, Carl from Haley F. Good morning to you as well, Haley. Bon dia. I would say something I thought to share. Which might help people understand, might help people's understanding, no matter which side you're on PCR tests. Keep an open mind, folks. Let me remind you, you don't have to make your mind up. You can keep an open mind. People need reminding of that in this day and age, don't they? It's like, whoop, here comes some information. I better make a decision. Well, actually, yeah, okay, you've got to take practical action from time to time. But we don't have to sort of make a black and white decision about everything in life, do we? And thereby dividing life in half, and those people are COVID idiots and those people are something else. Let's keep an open mind. This might be part of it, Will, since it's a huge debate right now on the PCR test. And of course, Portugal has played its part in that globally, informing that debate or row sometimes. They don't cycle one, here we go. They don't cycle one nucleotide. I hope I've done that justice, to cut off point 3040 and then send whatever result pops out for each test. The CT threshold is the cutoff point at which they give up, not where they stop. They cycle 3 separate unit nucleotides to a low value. It pops up. Oh, Will, you've lost us there, I think. But Will's your man. Boom, if not, they continue. They use, and that's a long comment. Go read that in the comments on whichever platform. Actually, you probably have to go to Facebook to see that particular comment because we can't squeeze it all on the screen. But Will is your man to keep an open mind about this, and has been right from back in the day when we first started all this in March. So thank you for that, Will. Friend up Will. Keep an eye on his Facebook profile if you want to keep an open mind about what's going on. And it's an ever-moving picture, let's face it, with the pandemic, isn't it? I see from the UK yesterday, the chancellor giving his spending forecast slips into the conversation. Oh yeah, worst recession for 300 years. What? That is hold the front page stuff. But we're so, I think, what are we sort of? It's not brainwashing exactly, but this tide of news, and now, I remember when there was only news on once or twice a day and you had to wait for it. Now the news is constantly updating, isn't it? Deluge, barrage, or drip feed, I suppose it is, isn't it? A constant sort of negativity and bad news and trying to shock you and tell you what to do, etc., how to think from the telly. That's bombshell news. That tells you something, doesn't it? If the UK is having its worst recession for 300 years whilst going into the Brexit process, that doesn't bode well for many other nations either. I'm not making some sort of bold and positive statement about how brilliant the UK is, but in terms of a world player, to have the worst recession for 300 years, this is what we're going into, folks. We need each other. We need new ideas. We need to keep open minds, as I think Will is reminding us there. Happy Thanksgiving from Chicago. Yes, change the subject. Happy Thanksgiving. Feliz Dia de Acción de Gracias to you, Cindy Green. I think our first proper American on the show this morning. So lots of love to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you from all of us in the community here at Good Morning Portugal. How lovely. How do you celebrate? I guess there's going to be some turkey there. Saw a fantastic old advert for aerosol stuffing. I think it said, end the back-breaking work of stuffing a turkey. Use this aerosol-based turkey. Do they still sell those in America? I wonder. Rod's here, everybody. Good morning to you, Rod. Lovely profile pic. Morning, Carl. Have a good day, mate. You too. Igualmente there, Rod. Lovely to know you're around and causing trouble, no doubt, in Tamar. Let's do it. Oh, okay. We got to hand out Druba's offer. A good morning from New Jersey, from Vera. Oh, fantastic. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, especially all our American friends. Yeah, absolutely. Loving it. But so incoming now with the Thanksgiving messages. Cindy Green, it's a much different Thanksgiving this year. Just the two of us. We still have lots to be thankful for. That's wonderful. Remembering to give thanks, which is what it's all about. April is the best month to come to Portugal. For the spring, jacaranda trees. That's lovely. So far, I say more. I love my cocktail in the mornings. No, I don't think that's what Ty meant to say. Although, maybe it's true as well. I think he likes his cockatiel. My 5 parrots, I'm so tempted to do the cockatoo joke, but I won't. My 5 parrots don't seem to mind the cold. That's interesting, isn't it? Because, of course, they're in their bones. They are from hot climates as a species. Every month, to move to Portugal is an ideal month. Very good. Especially when you can get a flight for $12.99. That determines it. Price of flights. Come on. But that's a good answer. Every month is a good month to come to Portugal. So we've got September, April, and any month so far. April, 2 votes for April. You'll have a lot of time to prepare for winter. Fantastic. Paolo, that's great. Bon dia, Cole. Looking forward to your wine selection. Oh, yes. Good shout. Good reminder. Tonight's wine, folks. You've had no idea how hard it's been for me to look at this bottle on my desk here for over a week now. The Pedra Cancela, a Dow wine. And Lord forgive me, living in Bairrada and suggesting other people drink Dow wines. Just a little break from the Bairrada, and we'll come back to Bairrada. Don't worry. Please, Mr. Mayor, don't kick me out for drinking wine from outside the district. Unfortunately, yes, Gary, good morning to you. And it should be fun tonight. Unfortunately, I have to work today, so driving right now, says Vera. Hands-free, obviously, but that's cool, isn't it? Listening to the Good Morning Portugal show on the way to work. Good on you. Thank you. We've celebrated Thanksgiving the previous 2 years with some nearby American friends, but this year they're not here, unfortunately. So absent friends, I will raise my glass now of effervescent vitamin drink, some of which I drank too early, and I drank part of the tablet. I thought I was going to have another coughing fit, but I have a little sip of that now and raise a glass to all American friends. Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Yum. Magnesium. Cindy Green, we'll be arriving in Portugal in September. Perfect. We just purchased a lot and we'll be building our new home in Portugal. I'm imagining a lot as in a building lot rather than a lot of stuff, although that might be true also. That's great, Cindy. Good month to arrive. I wish I felt comfortable. I am clearing 2,000 square meters of this brambles and brush. My body is feeling it, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. The neighbours must dread the sound of my strimmer starting up. Muito desculpe. So we're issuing apologies to Wayne's neighbours there, him and his wretched strimmer. But actually, no, I think the strimmer and the chainsaw are sounds of the Portuguese countryside. They really are. I think your neighbours will be all right. Unless of course they've just arrived here. Can you imagine if you've just arrived and you're thinking, oh, great, looking forward to a nice quiet retirement here in Portugal. Open the windows, open the doors, and sip on a gin and tonic or whatever, or a glass of Portuguese wine. Listen to that peace and quiet outside. And then you've moved next door to Wayne Barker. It's like 8 hours a day. Go around and see him, Wayne. Take him some kiwi fruits or some eggs or something, and that'll sort it all out. And some Portuguese diplomacy. Yep. Also raining month usually. So reward of summer after that. So that's is that for September? I guess it could be. I would say the best time to move to Portugal would be the tail end of the winter. So you get to see spring, summer, and autumn. So you're thinking more of a sort of February, March debut, possibly there, Pete. Excellent. Thanks for that, Dr. McCoy. What did I do? What made you say that? From Gary, is it dangerous to say I am positive? Well, Donna Jacqueline caused a bit of a stir saying that, didn't she? Our expat elder and the grandmother of this community blithely put in one of our Facebook groups, I've tested positive, she said. The rascal. With a glint in her eye, I'm sure, a grandmotherly glint in her eye. And she just meant to say she's tested positive for life. Which is a good reminder as well, isn't it? This is just a Thanksgiving message in its own way. Yes, it is dangerous to say that, but eventually we got the reference there, Donna Jacqueline. Cheeky. Yes, September, good time to come over and start your land clearance. Says Wayne. I thought April. Why don't you just burn it like everyone else does, Wayne? Only kidding. I thought April was a lovely month this year. It wasn't too cold, and though there were showers, it was lovely to look forward to summer. So we got, I think, a mixture there, haven't we? September and April. Where are we? Lovely messages. Thanks, everybody. In Portugal, in the north at least, is when the rain is stronger. Okay. All right. Yep. So more of that's why you're suggesting spring. We'll have turkey, mashed potatoes, corn casserole, a big salad, and pecan pie. You got to see. I have my own pronunciation guide to that, and I don't know whether I should. No, I'm not going to say it. But pecan is how you say it in the States, right? I'll say it in the expat man. I'll save up my pecan and cockatoo jokes for tomorrow night on the expat man cave. We'll have turkey, mashed potatoes, corn casserole, and a big salad, and a pecan pie there. No grits and gravy with that. Only kidding. Neil Perkins, why is he pulling a face? With the plethora of comments, I lose track. Yes, have a happy day in America, says Laura. Will, figured it may be relevant since continuing to worsen, the worst recession in 300 years kind of thing depends on this one thing. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Will. I'm always glad of your input. It was quite scientific and complex, but you must have. Oh, and I think maybe that's what Gary. Thanks for that, Dr. McCoy, is referring to there. Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on to bring it up. No problem with that, Will. I got lost in the scientific detail there. You know, just exposing myself as a bit of a numpty and the sort of person I suspect who you think, oh, what is it with these muggles and their poor grasp of science? Guilty as charged, I'm afraid. But that's my job, isn't it, to dumb it down? To dumb it down, maybe, so I understand it better. Nice to see you again, says Muhammad Wahab. Good morning to you. Nice to see you too. I thought April was the month of 1,000 rains. So maybe, I don't know. I'm confused now. Is it April or is it September? I have a question, please. How much does property cost? I mean to say the lowest cost. Well, there's a question for... I don't know. We could almost have a feature, couldn't we? The sort of the best value house you can buy in Portugal. And I mean, there are places in Portugal where you could probably buy a house for, 20,000 euros. Safiro, Joel, tell me. I mean, you can buy houses very cheap and you can buy land very cheaply. And it's all relative because if you haven't got that money, it's not cheap. But in world terms, in European terms, you can. I mean, go have a look on some of the property websites. Start with ours, expatsportugal.com. We've got a few listed. It'll give you an idea. Expatsportugal.com. Have a look on there, Mohammed, and PM me. We can help you. Or get on the forum there and ask that question, because that's a really long and complicated question to answer. But yeah, okay, we'll go into that at some point. At least it's not the leaf blower. Yes, that's a blessing. They're funny old machines, aren't they? I think we've got our Thanksgiving friends to thank for the leaf blower, have we not? Chicken in the freezer joke, maybe ruin the punchline. I think you might have done there, Ty. But I'll revisit that tomorrow night as well. Joining late from Australia. Hola, bon dia. Minha mulher homen. Oh, that's great. Good day to the men and women of the community here. Thank you, Andrew. Well, cheaper in inland villages, coastal metropolitan areas are more expensive. There you go. The property advice is coming in for you there, Mohammed. Will Thompson. I work for a couple who settled into a remote, quiet lakeside for their forever peaceful home. 2017. A few months later, firefighting planes were arriving every 5 minutes all year to scoop water 50 meters from their place. Yes, 2017. That's when I arrived in Portugal. What a horrid year that was in so many ways. And hopefully that changed for them, Will. I would say June. Okay, June, not just April or September, but June, because of all the festas. What festas? Oh, yes, I remember those. Sant Antonio, San João, San Pedro. Good call there, Filomena. Be with us in person next Friday. And that was in the mountains of Arganil that Will's talking about there. Hey, Frank's here, everybody. Abril Aguasmil. That's great. Write that down. So, yes, it's a showery month in April. Em Abril, Aguasmil. Very good. Gianni in Belgium. I think before moving to a place, you have to feel all the seasons. When I tell people we're moving to Portugal, they say, oh, always warm and sunny. Yeah, let's keep telling them that. And Gary, wistful moment. Streaming. I love that phrase, Philomena. Thank you very much for that. So in April, a lot of water. Frank's here. Look, bon dia a todos. Thanksgiving. The real one passed on October the 12th. Happy Thanksgiving, America. What do you mean is to Canadians for you? I meant to ask you, Frank, the Canadian, how you're enjoying The Crown on Netflix and your sovereign, if you're enjoying the portrayal of your sovereign's life on Netflix. Let's see how he responds to that. I've got my eye on a house selling at 25,000 euros. There you go, Mohammed. It's just what I'm looking forward but in the wrong, it's just what I'm looking forward to, but in the wrong village, and we'll need up to 20 grand spending on it. But I love it. Central Portugal. So there you go, Mohammed. Central Portugal, if you're looking for a bargain. Andrea Pereira, I bought my house for 17,000 euros, 2 beds and habitable, half an hour from Coimbra in the Hills. Nice one, Andrea. We bought our neighbours 1 bedroom stone cottage ready to live in for 10,000 euros. Know of another 3-story house in the village for 7,000, but needs a lot of work. Very good intel coming in from the community. Elsa, just seen one for just over 20k in the mountains with pool, fully renovated, but very isolated. And I'm sorry to say, I think that we will see a bit of a crash, won't we? How people's lives are structured will change. This old thing of like flying to and from other parts of the world to come to Portugal to a cheap house you've bought, that's seriously challenged, isn't it, at the moment and going forward. Druba, actually, we must do your offer, Druba. We came in April, was perfect weather-wise. So April has it, I think. Elsa, hi, Andrea. Bit of a sort of property chat going on here. Neil, that was us. Hated the fires in Tamar, but great, sat on the balcony watching the planes and helicopters filling up from the lake right in front of the house. Yeah, I mean, they're incredible, aren't they, the Bomberos? Morning, Elsa. Lovely sunny day for us here in North Wales. Yes, the North Walians talking to each other this morning. Now, I wanted to talk about cheese. 10 minutes left, and I want to talk about Portuguese cheese. What is your favourite Portuguese cheese? Or I might just carry that forward to another time. I was going to look at the news. Should we forget about the news? Let's not do the news. It's depressing, isn't it? Let's do the top 12 Portuguese cheeses, which we can always stretch to a part 2. But before we go there, a lovely message from Druba. I'm going to mute up and have a sip of my drink here. But bear with me just a moment. It's not really a bear with me. Just hold on. Very nice. Okay. August and September is when your thermometer blows up. That can happen, can't it? I have heard of that happening. A real test for the mercury, if that's if any of you still got. I've got a mercury-based thermometer. Look at this beauty. It's on my desk. This is probably a collector's item from the Cavage de Montaña. This is an old mercury thermometer. Look, I can probably make it work for you by putting my finger on the mercury there. That's probably like watching paint dry, doing something like that. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? From just down the road in Anadia, beautiful thing. The cheese I miss the most is Queijo Serra de Estrela. Okay, we're going to come back to cheeses because we have this lovely offer from Druba, and who says when. Further information coming in from him. Hey man, hope all is well. When we came here in 2019, we had the option to stay only in a hostel, which we paid so much for on a daily basis for the whole family. And I think there were 4 of you at least. So that would have added up and been expensive. But now, says Druba, this is in Sintra, we have a small farm and some rooms for Airbnb. So wondering if you can post this for us. We, as a Nepali family, would like to warmly welcome those newcomers into Portugal with a few rooms available in Sintra, where we have organic veggies, chicken, turkey, and ducks. We can feed you dinner, Nepali meal and breakfast while you're hunting your permanent place to live. They're 12 to 15 minutes drive from Cascais, 20 minutes to Lisbon by car, 30 minutes by train to the capital, 5 minutes walk from the train station, and 2.5 kilometers from Sintra Palace. And they've got 4 rooms at the moment. And you may have heard Druba on the show talking about the incredible work he's done in Nepal and was it in India as well? He's an amazing guy, lovely family, I suspect, to stay with. So there you go. And get in touch with him on Facebook, friend him up on Facebook, or I guess it will show up if people search Airbnb in Sintra. I imagine that's some good value and some good vibes there in Sintra. So thank you for sharing that with us and sending me that message, Druba. Really appreciate it. And good luck to you and those who come and stay with you. I'm sure they're in for a great time. Really not pretty outside, but tasty, even when not fresh. No, cheese is never fresh, is it? By definition, cheese is not fresh. But I see what you mean. Cheese is life. This is probably a Portuguese saying, isn't it? Pau pau, queijo queijo, of course. Cheese is life, especially with a cheeky vinho tinto. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Look up Sintra's farming family for that offer. Change of subject. People are throwing me all over the place this morning. Change of subject. But have you read about José de Souza, a darts player from Azambuja who won the Grand Slam of darts in Coventry? Do you know what, Pete? I haven't, funnily enough. But we'll celebrate. We'll probably give him a Barcelo Award in the Expat Man Cave tomorrow night. Thank you. Not only have we got Miguel Oliveira winning the MotoGP, they're in Coventry in the UK, Grand Slam of darts, Portuguese winner. Incredible. Probably sponsored by Sagres or a Superblock, I suspect. So very quickly then, because we really should be going. We've got lives to live, haven't we? From Delishably. This is very interesting. And forgive you, this is really quite a risky thing for me to do because, as you can see on the right-hand side, adverts will flash up, which are connected. Should I do this? Adverts connected to my search history. But I've got to say, I've never searched for women's perfume on the internet ever. I don't think. I mean, I don't wear it myself, honestly, and I don't think I've bought perfume for Mrs. M, but not via the internet. So I don't know what that's doing on there. Honest. But let's see what else might come up. Terrifying. Top 12 Portuguese cheeses you need to try. And let me just make the screen a little less confusing for you. Not forgetting tonight, we're talking to the ACP, the many advantages of joining the Automobile Club of Portugal. Automobile Club de Portugal tonight. I had a call with them yesterday to talk about what they might be doing. What lovely people. And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. If it's, you're going to think, oh yeah, whatever, a lot of fun talking about importing vehicles. We are. Their service for paltry amounts of money is incredible, it would appear to me. They're going to tell us all about it tonight on the Portugal Calling webinar. Sign up for that at Expats Portugal Let me just put a link on for that. And yes, go on, become a premium member. Help us with this work. €25, and of course that'll get you a bit of a benefit, a bit of a perk with the ACP should you decide to join up. But we're talking all about importing vehicles tonight, and then after that, Vino, I should say, on the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club from just after 9 tonight. Well, I'm leading the tasting charge. Okay, back to cheese. So maybe I need to get some cheese to go with the wine tonight. This is Anna, a New Yorker, writing about her globe-trotting culinary and healthy living adventures. Plus, she loves sharing beauty finds. Healthy living and beauty, I don't associate with cheese necessarily. I'm a huge cheese lover. So when I... Does she like huge cheese? Is she huge? Or is she a big fan of cheese? I mean, you could take that a number of ways, couldn't you? I'm a huge cheese lover. So when I moved to Portugal 2 years ago, I was psyched to find that it was a wide variety of artisan cheeses, that it has a wide variety of artisan cheeses produced throughout the country. Who knew? I had only been familiar with European cheese varieties from France and Italy, but moving to Lisbon, what about England? Moving to Lisbon definitely put Portuguese cheeses on the map of yummy cheeses for me. My French uncle, I don't know if I've told you this before, but my French uncle had a really good put down for British cheese. He would say, I have tasted both your cheeses. He wasn't Inspector Clouseau, by the way. Portugal has a rich tradition of cheese making, and different regions have their own types, much like Portuguese wine, of course. And just as wines have protected designation of origin labels, so do cheeses. In fact, 12 cheeses have made this honorable designation called Denominación de Origen Protegida. It's going well. I lost it at the last word they didn't know. DOP. So just like with wines, with their DOC, you've got cheeses with the DOP. It sounds like a rap song suddenly, which awards the cheeses name protection and ensures that they are produced within the demarcated area using traditional methods and ingredients. Marvelous. So we're looking at Deliciously's guide, thanks to Anna, who's a huge cheese fan, and the 12 cheeses of Portugal. I'm not going to go into all of these. I think we'll revisit these. We could have a cheese of the month, couldn't we? Given that there are 12, maybe we should. Cheese of the month. This month is. So the 12 cheeses that have DOP designations have the name of the area where they're produced and DOP marking on their labels. Bon appetit. Portuguese cheese lingo. This is good. This is useful. Before I introduce Portugal's delicious cheeses to you, I'd like to acquaint you with some useful Portuguese cheese lingo. This is great, Anna, from deliciously.com. Curado is aged. I always thought that meant smoked. Queijo is cheese, of course. Queijo fresco, fresh cheese. Cabra is goat, so goat's cheese. Ovelha, sheep. Leite, milk. And vaca is cow. So this is useful because I've been eating that lovely cheese from Panela, which is a mixture, I believe, of the cabra and vaca. Portuguese cheeses with DOP designations. Which is your favorite then? And we will do, in honor of Joel and his outstanding service to this community, we'll go to number 9 this morning. We'll just do number 9, the Serra da Estrela cheese. But look, number 1, Azeitão. Number 2, Queijo de Cabra Transmontano. Is that the really runny one? The Évora cheese, the Nissa cheese, the Pico, the Rabassal. Been there. What a great part of the world. Not far from Panela, of course. São Jorge, Serpa. Oh, that's the runny one. Or is that the Maggoty one? Serra da Estrela cheese, Terincho, Castelo Branco, and Requesão cheese. So straight to number 9 in honor of Joel, who likes a bit of the old Serra da Estrela. Lovely pictures here. Don't look if you're driving. And sorry if you're on the podcast, but come back to this, deliciously.com, and you will find a wealth of information about Portuguese cheese. It's fantastic. Serra da Estrela is referred to as the king of Portuguese cheese since it's undoubtedly the most popular. There you go. This cheese is made in the Serra da Estrela region, where the highest peak of Portugal is located. For centuries, it's been made by shepherds who roam the hills of Serra da Estrela with their sheep. The cheese has a smooth consistency and a delicate flavor. It's similar to brie cheese, which I imagine some people think, oh, no, it's not. But there you go. That's the world of cheese for you. And there is your picture of it. A cured Serra da Estrela cheese photograph there in the El Corte Inglés. There you go. Fantastic. I'm going to come back to this article because I think it's really rather good. And I will wish you a good day at that point. Just suffice to say, let's get the last of your comments and your favorite cheeses. Did you like the panela cheese? Yes, I absolutely did, Gary. I would buy that again. Deborah Davies, being a premium member, I saved at least the €25 membership fee due to information given, not to mention the peace of mind owing to all the info. You'll also get to feel part of a great community. Join Deborah. She's great, isn't she? Thank you for saying that. Completely unsolicited testimonial for us there, Deborah. Really appreciate that. Frank, the freeloading... You and Margaret Thatcher sharing a similar disdain. The freeloading sovereign. The views expressed here are not necessarily those of the Good Morning Portugal show. And of course, I don't, having now hobnobbing with ambassadors and so on, I don't want to ruin my chances of getting a knighthood. So I'll distance myself from this comment. The freeloading sovereign on our dollar bill has overstayed her welcome. Unbelievable. Off with his head. My favorite cheese is Serra de Estrella and Rabassal. Yeah, both mentioned there, of course. The Expat Cheese Club community. Got to be done in it, Frank. We've got 12 to go out there, plus a few specialty ones, independent producers. Man, we are going to be so gouty by the end of this. I have signed up for the car import, says Yanni. I read a lot about it, but it is confusing. They're going to do their best tonight to unravel that mystery, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Hope to have the right answers this evening. Well, we'll do our best, Yanni. And here, look, Jerry's here with us as well. Hi, Carl. Really recommend a visit to the Queijaria Prado do Sico in Santiago de Guarda, Ancião. Did Jerry just find me the longest Portuguese set of words he can manage there, just to try me out on air? Cheese factory with great tapas cafe. I think I should repeat that. So that's the Queijaria Prado do Sico in Santiago de Guarda in Ancião. Yes, popular place with expats, Ancião, that part of central Portugal. Good shout, Jerry. Good morning to you. Thank you for that. And looks like Frank is in for a night in the tower. I would say so, Gary. You and I, as representatives of Her Majesty in this far-off land, should perhaps go and apprehend the bounder. And we'll do that after the show. Hey, Jerry. Bon dia from Haley F. Thanks for the tip. Hope to visit one day. Haven't been to a cheese factory here yet. There's another one for the list. I got to get back to that Portugal 100 list. Soon to be a Portugal 1000, and I dare say a Portugal 10,000 list of things to experience, do, and visit in Portugal. And we look forward to expanding that for you. So many wonderful things to do here. Hopefully, we'll be freer to do them soon. Look forward to seeing you tonight on the webinar if you're booked in for that, and at the Wine Club thereafter, just after 9 o'clock this evening on these very channels. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody, for your wonderful input this morning. It's so lovely to get up of a morning and to connect with you in this way. Take care. Bye for now. Abrazos. Beijinhos. Ciao, ciao.